Hi, I'm Jaime Agostino, and this is Financial Minds Meet the Experts. On this show, we're joined by financial industry experts to talk about topics, trends, and themes that credit union professionals need to know about. Today on Financial Minds Meet the Experts, we're meeting Rodney May, Chief Engagement Officer for Vizo Financial, and Scott Collins, EVP, National Sales and Marketplace Relationships with CU Answers. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about core processing with CUaxis. So, Rodney, tell me, what is CUaxis? Why was it created? And what problem are you solving?
Okay, sure. Yep. CUaxis is a community of credit unions that was created by Vizo Financial along with our CUSO MyCU services. The common thread for all the credit unions found within this community is the core processing system that each of them use. In our particular case, we selected CU Answers as that common core. So we wanted to create this community because we want each of the credit unions to leverage each other when it comes to questions about the core. But more importantly, just if they have general questions, we created a forum for them to ask general questions about anything related to their credit union. We just feel as if it's a lot easier for people to ask questions within a group that they feel comfortable with talking to and they actually know. Our ultimate goal by creating CUaxis is to help credit unions survive and thrive in an ever-changing financial services landscape, with CU Answers being that common core used by everyone within that community.
All right. What benefits are available to the credit unions who join CUaxis?
Okay. Well, in addition to what I just mentioned in the previous one, credit unions will benefit from the potential to get better pricing on services that they use through Vizo Financial. So you join CU Answers as your core processing system. That now changes your world as far as we're considered, as far as any services or products that you could get through Vizo Financial. If we have the ability to bundle pricing for you, give you better pricing based on that, we're going to do it. Since every credit union operates differently, it's going to be basically customized for every credit union. So, but that's going to be the main feature that you would actually find. So if you use CU Answers through CUaxis, the doors of opportunity are wide open for your credit union.
Okay. Well, why did Vizo Financial and MyCUs choose CU Answers as their strategic partner for this CUaxis community?
Well, CU Answers is a well-established 50-year-old plus company that only serves credit unions. That in itself almost reflects what Vizo Financial, our history is, what our structure actually is. So for me personally, that was pretty cool. And for everybody else that was just doing our due diligence, we're like, wow, they're just like us when it comes to that. And as far as the actual core that they operate, it allows each credit union to use the features that they want to use when they want to use them. Most of them are essentially baked in. They come with it. So you're going to pay the price if you use it or not. It's not add on and, oh, you're going to do this. Now we got to add another charge and things of that nature. A lot of the daily operation that credit unions will use is all within the package they get initially. And in addition to that, the core easily adapts to the credit union as it grows. It'll grow with the credit union. And then finally, this is the real kicker that's what I enjoy about it, is the folks at CU Answers are just good people. They have the best interest of credit unions at heart. They're trying to do what's best for the credit union, not for stockholders. So if you throw all that stuff together, along with very fair pricing, and it was a very easy decision for us to partner with CU Answers.
All right, great. Thank you. So, Scott, tell me, what are the advantages or the benefits that CU Answers CU-based core processing systems offers to the credit unions?
Oh, that's a great question, Jamie. And thanks again for having me. And Rodney, thanks for your kind words. Good to see you again, my friend. I think as far as the advantages and benefits, I would say that the breadth and the depth of our suite. We're a suite provider. I think that the suite is a differentiator. Over the last couple of decades, credit unions, especially large credit unions, they wanted to be bleeding edge. And if bleeding edge is what a credit union wants to do, CU Base is probably not a good fit. CU Base being our core data processing system. We feel that bleeding edge is for the bank balance sheets. So what we do is we bring a solution to the table that quite frankly, it never goes down. It's always available. We continue to add functionality to it at zero cost to the credit union. We even do radical things like we allow our credit union staff to vote on new software projects. So it's a really well-meshed community. And quite frankly, if they want to join the fastest growing core solution in the United States, which is CU based, then we think that they would be a great fit for that. Now, if they're excited about every dollar they spend staying in the credit union industry, as Rodney mentioned, CU base and working with CU Answers and CUaxis, we're really the only solution. Every other core has private equity. They got Wall Street in the mix. And I'm not saying that to be disparaging at all. They're just different value propositions. We believe in building communities, not big buildings. We take pride in things like price disruption. And we have really three, I guess, corporate principles. And I know that the folks at Vizo and CUaxis share these with us, which is why I'm so excited about the future. The first is disruptive pricing, and Rodney mentioned that. We want to be disruptive to the status quo on what it costs to have a core data processing suite. We want to provide access. Access to markets is typically something that the biggest credit unions in the United States don't have a problem with, but a lot of the mid-market folks get shut out of different tools and different opportunities to grow their credit union, and we want to provide those. And then lastly, shared resources. We've learned a long time ago that mid-market has a lot of ebb and flow in their staffing, and we want to be able to provide some of those resources as well. So we're in a great place with our partners at Vizo and CUaxis to marry the software that we have with the same principles that the CUaxis team has for wanting to grow credit unions. So we're excited about that.
All right. And Rodney, why would a credit union want to use the CU-based system through CU Access versus directly with CU Answers?
Okay. Well, first of all, if a credit union goes direct to CU base by way of CU Answers, or they come to CU base by way of Vizo Financial CU Access Community, it's the same core processing system. So in the end of the day, yeah, we want those credit unions to pick a core that's going to not bankrupt them, so to speak, and be awesome to work with. So that's number one. But if a credit union elects to come through CU Access instead of going through CU Answers, they will benefit from, like I said, bundled pricing for Vizo Financial Services from that perspective. And then also from a pricing perspective, we're willing to work with credit unions and covering some of the setup fees and things of that nature, because we only serve credit unions and we want to make sure they survive. And we don't want to make anything really cost prohibitive. And we're willing to take that extra step to get you on board, because once again, we can only serve credit unions if they exist. And with core processing fees being one of the larger expenses, we want to make sure that expense isn't a reason why they don't pick us. So that's something that we can add to the mix if they come by way of us. And then obviously we've worked with CU Answers in regards to negotiating a very competitive recurring monthly fees and things of that nature. And we're willing to shave a little bit off of that as well if you come through us if they want to. But in the end of the day, we just want them to select CU Answers, hopefully through us because of the benefits I just mentioned. But if not, that's fine too. We know they're going to be a surviving, thriving credit union no matter what. But
All right. Scott, so people hear the word conversion and many run for the hills. What are the challenges credit unions face when they switch core providers, and how can they overcome these changes? How does the CU Access community help them overcome the challenges?
Yeah, I'm sure that there are credit union executives out there just chomping at the bit to thinking about how much fun it would be to do a core conversion. Seriously though, when you look at the numbers, and I don't want to be maudlin, especially as we're in the first part of 2022 and everybody's coming out of the pandemic soon, hopefully. But we're losing one credit union a day, and we have been doing so from an industry standpoint for more than a decade. So I would say that if a credit union is content kind of holding on as long as it can without seeing what's out there, then survival is probably a numbers game. Just today, I saw two healthy $600 million organizations were going to merge. So really, it truly is about survival. And if you're going to if you're going to take a look at a potential core switch, you really got to dig deep on what your total core expense is, Take a look at, is your member facing technology where it needs to be 2 years, 5 years from now, not just today. And then last but not least, that C word, the how did COVID change my business and how we interact with members. So I think for those willing to make a switch, to part of your question, the biggest challenge is getting the buy-in from the teams. We all know how hard change is. And if you've been using the same tool set for 2 years or 20 years, a lot of times it becomes very, very difficult to accept that something's going to change. That can be overcome certainly with an engaged project management team. So the team at CUaxis has been phenomenal to work with. Charnel, Linnell, the rest of the team working closely with ours to help them from a project management standpoint. You'll eliminate some of those obstacles. It can also be overcome with executive commitment. A senior leadership team that really wants to survive and thrive. If you're going to look, I would suggest, and I think I did a webinar for the folks at Vizo last year that was talking about what does the due diligence of a core look like, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody about that. You know, you're going to want to look for things like free education and training because, again, change is tough. You're going to want to look for somebody who's got a robust business continuity strategy. We're seeing in the news all the time where systems are down and how a 24/7 world needs to be acknowledged from a core standpoint. And really, are you going to be around for the long haul? We're, as Rodney mentioned, we're a little bit long in the tooth. We're 52 years old, but I feel like we're a 20-year-old. 50 is the new 20 because of our relationship with the folks at CUaxis and the Vizo corporate folks on how we can really be change agents for our credit unions. And lastly, I did mention Charnel and Linnell from the CUaxis team. Gosh, I can't say enough about their willingness to come to the table and help the credit unions with the project. Between our two teams, we've done 150 core conversions in the last decade. 150. We've experienced nearly every roadblock along the way. We even had a CEO leave during Live Week. We had natural disasters between floods and fires and even a tornado warning. We've had robberies and now we've got COVID. But we successfully converted every one of those projects just by rolling up our sleeves and getting the project done. So there's no way that you can do 36 projects in 16 months that we just completed with the CUaxis team without having a solid roadmap and a commitment to really being a partner of those credit unions in a very, very tough decision to go to a new core data processor.
All right. So, Scott, if I heard you right, you said you've had 16 credit unions go to the CU base through CUaxis. Is that
We
correct?
actually, over the past 16 months, we've had actually 28.
Oh, okay.
So 28 folks in the last 16 months. We've worked with the CUaxis team to convert them to the new core. We've got 6 more projects on the calendar over the next 6 months. Then we're going to take a big breath and have a little party and move on to some new projects together. So if you think about those numbers for a second, Jamie, that's 36 projects. That's relatively unheard of in our industry in general, but think about it during a pandemic. My hat's off to the team at CUaxis and to my team here at CU Answers. I think it's been a really, really successful project.
All right. What has the feedback been from the credit unions that went through the conversions?
That's a great question. We've been hearing some positive feedback. I know that we're kind of in that honeymoon period, right? So usually the first 3 to 6 months of a core change, you know, it's an ebb and a flow, right? You're going to miss things that you used to have on your old system. You're going to really love things that you have on the new system, but you haven't had time to learn them. And all of that just kind of comes out in the wash in a 3 to 6 month period of time. And then everybody, you know, kind of hits the ground running for the future. So we look forward to some new education events, getting back on the road and seeing folks at town hall meetings and those kinds of things, focus groups. You know, it goes without saying that it's a difficult process, but across the board, we're hearing pretty positive feedback. I don't know if Rodney's hearing anything differently, but we're very, very pleased.
Yep, absolutely. As Scott mentioned, I mean, you're always going to have those unfortunate situations that happen from here to there. And we had a few of those stumbles along the way. For the most part, you do 28 conversions in that short of a time period. Overall, we got credit unions moving on in the positive direction. And it's an adjustment period for everyone. Those that now have been on it for 9 months, 8 months, they're now in that comfort level as far as to take necessary steps. And then we still have those that recently converted that are still, getting through the conversion process. However, the beautiful thing about it is we've developed this two-layer system, so to speak. So if credit unions have problems or concerns or any issues whatsoever, they can contact Charnel or Linnell, who Scott has already mentioned. We can be in contact with the folks at CU Answers. So while we're two different organizations, we're approaching this as we're one solution, and whatever it takes to get it done, we're going to get it done. And those stumbles that we did have, we corrected them. And we're looking forward from those. And the beautiful thing is there was a lot of things that just went perfectly. So, and that's something that you love hearing during a conversion as well. And we think we've positioned those credit unions that were on the old system into a platform that's going to allow them, once again, and I say this so many times, to not only survive, but they're going to thrive as time moves forward.
All right. So, Rodney, if you could tell our listeners one thing about CU Access and the reason for its being, what would you say?
Well, before I answer that, Scott mentioned Charnel and Linnell that he likes working with them. He didn't mention my name one time, but I won't take it personally. It's okay. It's totally okay. So, but in all seriousness, when it comes down to corporate, here's the deal. I've been at Vizo for 29 years. I know the struggles credit unions have across the board. Number one thing we always hear about, how can I reduce expenses? Well, once again, next to personnel, the core is usually one of the larger expenses a credit union will actually experience. We've positioned ourselves, Vizo Financial, into our members in such a way that they can eliminate that core expense burden being an issue by just the way we're pricing it, the way we're working with credit unions as we move forward with a solution that is very beneficial that will actually grow with them. So at the risk of repeating myself, once again, we're here to help credit unions survive, but also thrive. We just don't want them to survive. We want them to thrive. And with all the opportunities they have by going through CU Access, working with CU Answers, it goes beyond core. And that's the beautiful thing about this whole thing. Yeah, you sign up for the core, you need that. That's a necessary function for daily operation, but there's so many other opportunities that credit unions will benefit from at their leisure, whenever they're ready to do it. Adding call center features, maybe utilizing one-off bookkeeping services, accounting features, compliance risk issues. And that's something that obviously Vizo Financial, we provide that. Our risk team has been working very closely to fill in the gaps with the folks at CU Answers. So it's a true partnership. And I've been here a long time. I've seen partnerships that unfortunately have not worked out. And this is without it. I mean, I'm 2.5 years into this one. This is a good one. It's a good one. And it goes back to the fact that both organizations, Vizo Financial, along with CU Answers, is looking out for the best interests of the credit unions, because that's all we serve. And it's in our best interest to actually do that. So I don't know. I'm much more to say to that, but I'm amped up by it. I have been for a while. I'm excited about getting the past conversions done, and just now making sure credit unions everywhere know the opportunities they can have by coming through CU Access to get an awesome core system.
All right. So, what are you guys working on for 22 and 23?
You want me to take that one, Rodney?
Yeah, you can go first. Yeah. I got a couple things, but I'll give you a chance to say a few words, and you can say something nice about me along the way.
Well, I was about to interject that my favorite person working with over at the CUaxis team, other than Jaime, of course, is yourself. Really appreciate the kind words. In fact, the relationship that you mentioned between our two companies is going to bring us some really exciting new opportunities for software. So if you think about the most successful corporate that I know of, and the ideas and that they're getting from all of their credit union relationships, and the 350 credit unions around the country that are using our core tools every day, that's just going to breed new opportunities for new tools and new integrations. So we're excited about that. The ability for a credit union non-member to join the credit union online, that's important with COVID. So scanning the driver's license, validating that Rodney's really Rodney with a selfie, and moving on through the relationships and funding the account. Those are exciting things that we've got on the drawing board for this spring. A whole bunch of fraud mitigation. Yeah, I know we got to talk about fraud to stop the bad actors at the core level instead of after the fact by one of the switches. Those are things we're working on. Our 6th generation of our mobile app, online loan applications, really just the digital components that are so important and always have been, at least for the past decade plus. But now with the pandemic and the relationship on how a member interacts with each credit union has changed. So we look forward to continuing to invest in those. Vizo is a very strong company. CU Answers is a very strong company. Both are 100% owned by credit unions. So what more can we say that that's a recipe for success? And we look forward to, in fact, recipes. It's that time of year. I'm starting to get hungry just thinking about recipes, but we're very, very excited about 22 and beyond with our new partners.
Yep. And I'll just close by saying our ultimate goal in 2022 is to have the account reps in our marketing department make sure that credit unions out there that are considering a core change realizes there's a potential solution with Vizo Financial and CU Answers. That's the key thing. And I think we could amaze a lot of people as far as what the pricing would actually be. And we just want that opportunity to do that in 2022 and beyond, obviously.
All right. Well, thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Scott. And I also want to special thanks to our sponsor of this episode of Financial Minds Meet the Experts, CUaxis. The best CECL analytics are built with CUaxis. CUaxis CECL and incurred loss applications are powerful and flexible and scaled to meet the needs of any business. Running parallel with both systems will allow your credit union to monitor the volatility of your advanced CECL calculation and how it compares to your current allowance. Learn more about the CECL solution powered by CUaxis and their partnership with Vizo Financial at www.vfccu.org. Rodney, Scott, thank you again. Really appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you, Jaime.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Good seeing you, Scott.
Take care, bud.
See ya.